Finally, Alireza Beiranvand makes his debut for Antwerp, and it comes in Europa League against Tottenham. Plenty to talk about, but we're talking about more than just one goalkeeper today. It's time for some Team Melli talk. Clearly, Iranian football fans have got to be happy with what they saw from Alireza Beiranvand in Europa League against Tottenham.
Joining me once again today, Pasha Gerami. Pasha, how's it going, man?
It's good to be with you. Thank you again.
All right, so let's get right to it. It was a 2-0 loss for Antwerp against Tottenham, and of course, a very top-quality team that Alireza Beiranvand had to go up against. Now,
are you surprised it took this long for Alireza Beiranvand to finally debut for Antwerp? And, overall, how do you grade his performance against Tottenham?
I'm not immensely surprised. It's difficult to move from Iran to a European country, especially during the COVID era, especially considering that Beiranvand doesn't speak Flemish, nor does he speak French, and his competitor is a good keeper who has history in the Belgian league, in Boutez. So I'm not incredibly surprised. In regards to the game against Tottenham, I rate Beiranvand relatively high. He had some great reflexes. We know he's a freak of nature in that respect. He was good with his feet too. One thing that I'm a little bit upset about, I think, is his aerial ability. I think for a guy who's 6'5" with the wingspan that he has, he should be doing better in the air. And we saw in the first 5 minutes of the game, he was shaky. And personally, it was reminiscent of the Iran-Portugal game at the World Cup, where he was shaky in the first 5 to 7 minutes. But he gathered his bearings and he did a good job. So I'm happy with him.
And now, when looking back at that, what more do you want to add to this? Think about this. Beiranvand got to go up against Tottenham. Like we said, that is a quality team, quality coach, and Jose Mourinho, and of course, quality players like Gareth Bale. What more could you add to this, game for Beiranvand?
Well, I'm a huge Chelsea fan, and as you can see in my background, I have a Chelsea jersey. It was signed by Jose Mourinho and the 2007-2008 Chelsea team. So I have a lot of respect for Jose. He's an amazing coach, and in the 11 months, the year that he's been with Tottenham, he's really transformed this team into a really potent counter-attacking side. And, they're number one in the Premier League. And in my view, the best team in the Premier League is pretty much the best team in the world. That's just my opinion. But you have to look at the objective reality too. They have Kane, they have Son, they have Bale, they have Bergwijn, they have Lo Celso, Lucas. These are all world-class players. And for Beiranvand to be able to play against a team of that quality is great for him. And he, like I said previously, he did well. There are a couple of things that he could kind of hash over, but besides those couple of mistakes that he had, he did really well against a great oppositional team.
A lot could change in just a span of a few days. Beiranvand started against Tottenham, and he had a great performance. But then just recently, and just today actually, a start against Club Brugge. Going back to the top flight of football in Belgium.
And from what I understand, seems like a head coach of Antwerp, Ivan Leko, had some harsh words for Alireza Beiranvand. I'm pretty sure you could add more to this.
Yeah, I actually have a quote. It's translated from, I believe, Dutch. It says, "Bringing Beiranvand to the kickoff was a risk. A bad decision for me. Everyone saw that. It is what it is. We have two first keepers, one that was very good, and so we bet that the other would be the top two, but he wasn't." So he was referring to Boutez as the very good keeper and the other one as Beiranvand. And, that's a bit shocking for me to hear personally, because he had such an amazing, in my opinion, performance against Tottenham. And then he plays against Club Brugge, Antwerp lose 2-0 against them. It sort of feels to me like Leko has put Beiranvand in the lion's den and is just, expecting him to survive in such difficult circumstances. And from my understanding, although I didn't watch the game, he did play well again today. He had some mistakes, but that's normal for any position in football. So to hear words from the coach about his own player that were quite negative is not reassuring to me.
Well, we know there's plenty of football left to be played, and there's a few words you mentioned in there. It seems like there's some words that have become very common these days. Such as like it is what it is. But, we're going to go ahead and move past that. And, now we're switching gears. Still, obviously, staying on the topic of goalkeepers.
And, going from one keeper to another, check out this highlight that, it's gone viral all over the place on social media. This acrobatic, throw-in just is awesome. So this long throw-in ends up going in off the hands of Alireza Hagi. And as we remember, ironically, right? Back in the 2015 Asian Cup, Alireza Beiranvand was backup keeper to Alireza Hagi. So, my question for you is, what has happened to Alireza Hagi?
Well, you age, you get older, you lose confidence. Goalkeeping is like that. So it is unfortunate to see him concede a goal like that, but I have nothing but respect for him. I thought he was amazing in 2014. He was formidable against Nigeria and Argentina, and maybe his undoing was against Bosnia. But in general, he was a great servant for the national team. The goal, the goal was pretty spectacular. I'm not surprised that it went viral because in Iran, in the Iranian Premier League, there are a lot of obscure things that happen, some strange goals, some strange throw-ins. So yeah, just another one for us to look at and be entertained.
And I'm obviously not about to get into this discussion of, who deserves, which goalie from this game deserves a call-up. No, I'm not getting into that. But do you feel that someone should have shown this video clip to Milad Mohammadi?
Yeah, why not? When maybe we should show it to him. I don't think he's going to attempt that again, to be honest with you. He tried it on the biggest stage in the world, but it is what it is.
I just want to say your response was spot on, perfect. I would like for Milad Mohammadi to see this video clip, but yeah, you're right. He probably won't try it again. Let's just move past that. As we're getting closer to wrapping up this edition of Team Melli Talk, another goalkeeper for me to talk about is Hamid Lak of Persepolis. Currently on top form, 4 clean sheets, and let's not forget about his awesome save in that penalty shootout against Al Nassr in the semi-final of the Asian Champions League.
Now, from my point of view, I feel like Hamid Lak has a chance. I believe he deserves a call-up to Team Melli. To me, he looks like he could be that number 3 keeper. In all honesty, right now, when we look at our keepers, it's Alireza Beiranvand and Amir Abidzadeh as the number 1, number 2 keepers. That's it. No argument there. But what is your opinion on Hamid Lak possibly getting a call up to Team Melli for the first time in a long time?
Well, I think it's not unreasonable to think that because, well, he played great for Persepolis in the Asian Champions League. He was basically brought in the thick of things and performed very well against some very high quality Asian opponents, at least West Asian opponents. He's 30 years old. He is a veteran of the Iranian Premier League. He's played a lot of games for Sabah Qom, played for Tractor Sazi. He moved to Persepolis from Mashin Sazi Tabriz. And he's been doing well. Personally, I don't think it's unreasonable, like I said, but there are other keepers on my mind, like Hossein Hosseini, who I think deserves another shot at Team Melli, at least for the 3rd string.
Well, I like your explanation about Hamid Lak. Right now I just got a hunch about, Hamid Lak, and I just think it's ironic too how, he's having a great season and he came in to take over for Alireza Beiranvand, who left to Belgium. So I like this sequence of events.
And having said that, it is time to wrap up this edition of Team Melli Talk. Pasha, as always, a pleasure to have you on the show.
Thanks, Art. Like always, again, I appreciate it, and I hope you have a good rest of your day.
And that's it for Team Melli Talk. Thank you, everybody, for the support. Really do appreciate it. Make sure you get to our website, www.teammellitalk.com. You know where to find us on social media, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. You know the handle, @Team Melli Talk. Don't forget to like, comment, share, subscribe. Hit that notification button. Remember, this is your source for the latest news on Team Melli, the national team of Iran.